afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's 1:30 and time for us to begin our special call meeting. This is a replacement for the meeting that was to be held on the fourth Tuesday, which was this past Tuesday. And whenever a meeting is changed from the announced, published date and time, it is necessary for anything that replaces it to be called a special call. We cancel the regular, and this is a special call, although this will be the meeting we would have had Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. So let me welcome you to the Commission chambers, and we've already had a wonderful time together here the past couple of hours or so talking about the outstanding things that are being done in our community, our communities, for those who are without a place to call home. So already I think the Commission's feeling pretty good.
Yeah. Give me a minute.
Yes, indeed, and probably a few extra tissues. I think I'm down to 2. All righty, which gives you some insight into what the meeting was like. Brother Virgil here, Virgil Gardner. All right, he's not here.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir. You know, the school teacher in me sometimes just has me calling on folks every now and then.
Yeah.
And I mean this very seriously. Let's see here. I'll get the next best thing if there's not a minister in the house who, Chief, would you ask Chief, would you mind doing for us, please? He's a PK. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Everybody bow your head with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to join together once again and being in your presence, Lord. We've had a rough couple days and the bad weather that's come upon us, but I think we see the light. It's the sunshine outside, and we appreciate that. And we've had a lot of good people out doing a lot of good work. And we appreciate you keeping everybody safe, and we pray for those that are in need of anything, dear Lord. And keep everybody in the city and everybody in the state of Kentucky and everybody in this room, Lord, just keep us safe and keep your hand upon us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Chief, so much. I remember the time when I was in the classroom and I taught math. And sometimes if we had some homework assignment, I would simply ask, so-and-so come to the board and work problem number 17. Well, before I could get it out, all of the heads would drop. Like, I hope he doesn't call on me. Thank you so much, Steve. I always know that he's willing to do that. We are honored to have a local U.S. Armed Forces veteran with us to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. We are pleased to welcome Mr. Theodore Ted Lloyd. Mr. Lloyd is a native of northern Wisconsin, but has lived in the Richmond area for the last 39 years. Ted served in the United States Air Force from 1968 to 1972. He advanced to the rank of sergeant, serving as a crew chief of a C-130 Hercules cargo plane based at Clark Air Force Base, Philippine Island, with temporary duty assignments to Cam Bay, Vietnam, and leading a night shift ground crew for AC-130 gunships based at Ubon Royal Air Force Base in Thailand. Ted serves as the commander of the VFW Post 7098, which will be celebrating 80 years of service to Madison County veterans on May 1st, 2026. Mr. Lloyd, thank you for your service to our country and for leading our pledge this evening. If you will come and please proceed. Mr. Lloyd?
I don't think you.
All right.
Oh.
You know, it is a crime.
Yeah.
Although we appreciate what Lloyd has done.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. Thank you so much.
And as a general in the war, and during the Civil War was called Old Reliable.
Yeah.
Everyone please stand and join me in pledging allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. And let me apologize, I usually poll the audience to make sure that the person who's do that is here, and they're usually sitting right up here, so. Thank you. Mr. Old Reliable. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Newby,
Here.
Commissioner Brewer,
Here.
Commissioner Cole,
Here.
Commissioner Goble,
Here.
Mayor Blythe.
Here, thank you. We have these presentations for this afternoon's meeting. The first is God's Outreach February Food Drive. Mandy Agee will represent the food drive.
We seem to be following a pattern.
Yes, we do.
Thank you, Mandy. Oh, that's not Mandy.
Good afternoon, I can say that now. I'm Kelly McBride, Public Information Officer for the City of Richmond, and the annual February Food Drive to benefit God's Outreach has a bit of an added participation twist this year. And to represent God's Outreach is Jennifer Brubaker.
Thank you.
Yes, unfortunately, Mandy could not make it today. I am Jennifer Brubaker, the Hunger Awareness Coordinator at God's Outreach Food Bank. I'm glad to be here today and glad to work with the City of Richmond on a citywide food drive that we're going to start, hopefully, February 2nd. And we have we're going to put barrels in some key locations. We're going to put one with our partner at Central Bank at this end on West Main Street. We'd like to put one on East End at US Bank on the other end. And then, of course, we have the food bank that people can drop off food. And then, of course, thank you, City Hall is willing to place one here. So there'll be multiple places that folks can drop off and help support the food drive that we would like to do. Food's a growing need. Our numbers increase, especially with this weather. Lots of food insecurity. So we just appreciate the fact with the city working with God's Outreach Food Bank to help us restock our shelves. The food drive details are simply, we're going to put out a post, and we're going to do a little contest. So every Friday, Kelly and I are going to look at the names of people who have donated by using our QR code at the food bank, so that if they make a donation to the food bank, monetary donation, they can also choose to register for a nice little prize drawing. And so some of our business partners have given some nice little gifts each Friday to make it fun in February, kind of February themed. One is a car detailing, so you can have a nice car detail before Valentine's Day, a flower arrangement by one of our local florists. So we have some really neat things that our business community has given to us just to make it fun for folks, and do something to upbeat. And, like I said, February is all about love, and that's what we'd like to do. Love for our neighbor, love by giving, and have a little joy. So thank you, and if there's any questions, it's all explained on our little post that we made and flyers that we'll have out.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yes, every Friday, yes. So we're going to fill up a heart with stickers each Friday to sit with the city. And so we kind of have goals to fill up the heart with love. So the first week, we're just getting started, so we hope to have a few hearts. And then you'll see the second is building momentum. Third, we're almost there, and we fill the heart with overflowing love. So we hope to fill in the heart each week via social media. And like I said, Kelly and I will be doing that each Friday of February.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Thank you for your ongoing work,
Yeah.
your ongoing work to help folks who are in need. Bless you. Presentation from Redeeming Hope. There's a proclamation. Is Lisa here?
Yes.
There's Lisa.
Is this the one? Yeah, there she is. Excuse me. Is this the one? This is the proclamation. Whereas human trafficking is a public health issue and crime that affects individuals, families, and communities across generations, exploiting the most vulnerable among us and weakening our collective well-being. Whereas human trafficking, as defined by the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, is a commercial sex act induced by force, fraud, or coercion, or when a person induced to perform such an act is not yet 18 years old, or the recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, or obtaining of a person for labor or services through the use of force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of subjection to involuntary servitude. Whereas an estimated 27.6 million people are subjected to human trafficking globally, including cases of human trafficking reported in every state and territory across the United States. Whereas human trafficking can happen to anyone, but certain populations are disproportionately at risk, including people affected by prior abuse or sexual violence, poverty and unstable living situations, or homelessness, as well as those systematically marginalized and underserved. Whereas people can be trafficked in person and online in industries such as restaurants, cleaning services, construction, and factories, and by strangers or someone they know, including partners, parents, and other family members. Whereas human trafficking is preventable by building individual, community, and societal understanding and resilience, reducing social inequities, and addressing social detriments or determinants of health. Whereas the City of Richmond is dedicated to ensuring anyone impacted by human trafficking can receive person-centered, trauma-informed, and culturally and linguistically appropriate care. Whereas during National Human Trafficking Prevention Month, the City of Richmond encourages everyone to visit humantraffickinghotline.org to learn more about human trafficking and ways they can help raise awareness and educate everyone on how they can prevent and respond to human trafficking. Now, therefore, I, as mayor of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, do hereby proclaim January 27th, 2026, as National Human Trafficking Prevention Day, and encourage our citizens to wear blue that day in support to address human trafficking, make resources available to assist individuals and communities that have experienced human trafficking, and build public-private partnerships to increase capacity to support a comprehensive and strategic response to human trafficking. And let me, as this was to have been done on the 27th, simply determine that today, the 29th, we continue certainly observing National Human Trafficking Prevention Month.
Just real quick, y'all get sick of hearing from me. This is the third year, I think. But anyway, I just really wanted to update everybody on where we're at now. I'm sure you all watch the news. You know how horrific this inhumane evil is. These little girls go through things you can't imagine. We've been told by the Attorney General's office they sleep on the floors in Frankfurt, some of them, while they're waiting for placements. It's just an inhumane evil. But for an update on what Redeeming Hope is doing, we're getting real excited here. As you know, Church on the Rock in Berea donated the 5 acres to us, so we are building an almost 7,000 square foot home. We are under roof, no debt. We're about $90,000 away from having the home completed. When the home is completed, this is going to be over $1 million property, and we have near nothing like that in it. So the community has been so awesome. Richmond City has been awesome. Madison County has been awesome. And we've even, because this house is for girls all over Kentucky, not other states but Kentucky, we've also reached out to other counties, and other counties have given us money and made donations for the house also. So we're getting there. Hopefully we'll have it finished soon and give these little girls a place. You know, it'll hold up to 12 girls. We'll start with 8. We're thinking we might get the sprinkler system donated. If so, we'll have the 12. We'll find out here in a few days if they're going to donate the sprinkler system. So we'll be able to hold 12 of them. But anyway, it's getting real exciting, and the community has been absolutely wonderful on how they've supported this. And a reminder too, this is the only house like this in the state of Kentucky. All the other states has one, from what I'm hearing from social workers, but Kentucky does not have a home like this. So thank you.
Lisa, thank you for your ongoing passion and compassion, which really have been the theme of everything that has happened in this room today. And it further lets us know the opportunities that there are for partnering, and happy to hear that the building has come thus far without the kinds of things that slow work down and so on, that mean debt and other things. An area that is perhaps so much unknown or quote unquote foreign to many of us, Lisa and others have taken on the task. First, to make us aware, and then to ask for community support as we consider those who are victims of human trafficking. So it is with honor that I present to you this proclamation that you just read, and certainly will continue in our support. I've got a pen, if you want to scratch out 27. Thank you so much. God bless you. Yes. Oh, yeah. Just further evidence of the good things, the wonderful things that are taking place in this community. Community meaning Richmond, community meaning this county, and certainly it's exciting to be a part of what is happening. Let's see. Carrie has informed us that the businesses, I just looked at you, Carrie, right? The businesses are not here today, so we'll move on to the minutes of our workshop meeting held on December 18, 2025, our noonday meeting. Regular meeting held on January 13 this month, and the workshop meeting held January 15 at 12 noon. If you've had a chance to look at those and want to consider all three at the same time, we'll entertain a motion as such.
I move.
Commissioner Newby,
Second.
Commissioner Brewer, is there any discussion, any question, comment about any of those three? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby.
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Ordinance, excuse me, for those who are not aware, there are copies of the agenda in the pocket right behind the attorney there, if you'd like to have a copy of what we're doing in this meeting. Ordinance 26-01, an ordinance of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, changing the zoning classification for property located at Tract 3 of Spring House Apartments on Robert R. Martin Bypass within the city limits. This is a first reading, so we do not vote. Mr. Attorney, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas Springhouse Land LLC owners has filed with the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission an application for a zoning map amendment, Robert R. Martin Bypass, Tract 3, with 2.87 acres, Richmond, Kentucky, and whereas the property is currently vacant land with zone classification B3 Highway Business and requesting change to R1B Single Family Residential Medium Lot and R3 Multifamily Apartments. Whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission conducted a public hearing on the requested zone change on November 19th, 2025, in the course of which it received evidence and testimony from persons in favor of and opposed to the requested zone change. And whereas, at the conclusion of the public hearings, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted to recommend that the zone change be granted, and whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission at its meeting adopted written findings of fact as to the zone change and the issue, is now before the Board of Commissioners for final determination. And whereas the Board of Commissioners believes it to be in the public interest that it adopts the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission in accordance with the findings of fact adopted by that body. Now therefore be it ordained that Section 1, the Board of Commissioners does hereby adopt the recommendation of the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission as to the requested zone change. The property in question located in located in Richmond, Madison County, Kentucky, as to which the zone change shall apply are Highland View Drive and Overland Drive, Robert R. Martin Bypass, parcels 1, 2, and the remainder of 3, 2.87 acres or thereabouts in Richmond, Kentucky, deed book 818, page 786. The Board of Commissioners does hereby adopt the written findings of fact adopted by the Planning and Zoning Commissions as its findings of fact. In accordance with these findings, the zoning of said property shall be and hereby are changed to vacant land with zone classification B3, highway business, and requesting change to R1B, single-family residential medium lot, and R3 multifamily for apartments. Section 2, the Director of Planning and Zoning shall make the appropriate changes to the official map of the City of Richmond, Kentucky. Section 3, this ordinance shall be effective immediately upon its enactment following second reading and publication in accordance with the requirements of applicable Kentucky law.
Thank you, sir. That's the reading of ordinance 26-01. And as I said, this is the first reading, so we will not vote. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion?
I move.
Commissioner Newby,
Second.
Commissioner Goble. Mr. City Manager, Mr. Attorney, anything at this point? Then let's hear from the board. Any comments here?
Well, okay, you're going to hear from me again, like the same thing you hear from me every time with apartments, and you've heard it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. I've been out to this area, and I saw the area. There's a lot of it's the street, a lot of homes. You know, people living there, spend their entire lives, you know, paying for these homes, and it's a secluded area where there's not this, and they've paid and spent their lives paying for this, so they don't have to deal with that. And in addition to that, I drove up through there, and it's more, the whole street's pretty much a one lane with cars on each side. And aside from the fire chief, I'm probably the only person that's driven an emergency fire engine, you know, so that's not happening. So once again, folks, I'm not dissing growth and development, but not when that growth and development takes a dump on the people that are already there.
Thank you, Commissioner Newby. Anyone else?
I guess we all could probably speak to this. We've all been out there, and I think I talked to Commissioner Newby shortly, and I talked to the city manager also about this, and I'll talk to the people that live out there. I can understand building houses out there if that's what they want to do, but I can't see putting a 16-unit apartment complex on that where and I think we need some information. Is there more than one entrance and exit out of this complex or out of this neighborhood? Like I said, and like Commissioner Newby said, they've lived there all their life. They grew up there. I can't see this being a positive thing for that community of those people that have raised their families and they've lived there all their life. I'd still like to have some more time talking about this with us, but I'd hate to think that I'd have to vote on it today because I don't feel like there's enough information that would warrant me wanting to vote to put a apartment complex there on these people that live there, and other people may think different. So I'm just one vote, but I promise you, I've looked at this and I drove it out there. I drove with the city manager and looked at this, and it doesn't seem to fit into the character of that neighborhood. So.
Thank you, Commissioner Brewer. Is there another? All right, there being no further discussion, this will be on the next agenda for vote. Let's see, that'll be the second Tuesday of
I think it's
February.
February 10th. February 10th.
February 10. Thank you, yes. All right, ordinance 26-02, an ordinance of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, changing the zoning classification for property located at 219 Marberly Avenue within city limits. This again is a first reading. Mr. Attorney, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas Kentucky Church of God Owners has filed with the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission an application for a zoning map amendment at 219 Moberly Avenue and North Third Street with 0.32 acres in Richmond, Kentucky, and whereas the property is currently with zone classification R1C, single-family residential, small lot, and requesting change to B2 Central Business District. Whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission conducted a public hearing on the requested zone change on November 19th, 2025, in the course of which it received evidence and testimony from persons in favor of and opposed to the requested zone change. And whereas at the conclusion of the public hearings, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted to recommend that the zone change be granted, and whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission at its meeting adopted written findings of fact as to the zone change, and the issue is now before the Board of Commissioners for final determination, and whereas the Board of Commissioners believes it to be in the public interest that it adopts the recommendations of the Planning and Zoning Commission in accordance with the findings of fact adopted by that body, now therefore be it ordained that Section 1, the Board of Commissioners does hereby adopt the recommendation of the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission as to the requested zone change. The property in question located in Richmond, Madison County, Kentucky, as to which the zone change shall apply are 219 Moberly Avenue, Lot 9.32 acres, plus or minus, Richmond, Kentucky, Deed Book 522, page 645. The Board of Commissioners does hereby adopt the written findings of fact adopted by the Planning and Zoning Commission as its findings of fact. In accordance with these findings, the zoning of said property shall be and hereby are changed from R1C Single Family Residential Small Lot and requesting change to B2 Central Business District. Section 2, the Director of Planning and Zoning shall make the appropriate changes as to the official map of the City of Richmond, Kentucky. Section 3, this ordinance shall be effective immediately upon its enactment, following second reading and publication in accordance with the requirements of applicable Kentucky law.
Thank you, sir. That's the reading of ordinance 26-02. Again, first reading. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion?
So moved.
Commissioner Brewer
Second.
and Commissioner Cole. Is there any discussion?
I just wanted to clarify and make sure I understood on this one. You said the proposal is to go from R1C to B2. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So B2 would be, what would you call it, Central Business District?
That's, yeah, that's an interesting corner, block, because there's that church on 3rd and Marberly. I think there's a single-family home behind it, I believe, if I remember correctly. Then there is, as we had discussed in the noon meeting today, there is the Broadway Baptist Church in Ritchie's using the fellowship hall of that church. So you've got that church block almost, and I don't know which way it goes, but I would just imagine, thinking back many, many years, that probably, would the churches have been, what's that use, conditional, or could you just put a church, I mean,
If it's zone B2, can there be anything else?
I think the intent of the property is for it to be turned into a business incubator to where there's training involved for different careers at that property, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the presentation at Planning and Zoning is that the proposed use is essentially where startups that may not want to operate or may not be suitable to work out of someone's home, that they will have kiosks, for lack of a better way of putting it, or room set aside to where these startup enterprises, entrepreneurialships could be placed there as a starting point
all right.
for that.
Carrie, is that something you're aware of?
Was parking addressed at the hearing that was held? When I think about training, I just think about people coming in multiple cars and needing to have a pretty good parking lot to park in.
Like I said, Commissioner, the aspect of training was mentioned in passing, but I do think that largely this is a business incubator to where it's a set aside office area or working space with that. And Mr. Causey can probably address this better, and we can get that information for you, but my recollection is that the parking issue was addressed as part of that.
You know, I always worry about parking.
I understand. I apologize for not
I
having
can't
that
help it.
written down. Yes, ma'am.
There.
You couldn't
Well, that
find a
would not be
place the other
good.
day. She was looking for a
We're
parking.
gonna need some parking.
They do have a big yard. They could, but planning and zoning would have to stipulate that you will have, I would imagine for this zone to be granted, are there parking?
Yeah, there's
City
guidelines. for parking.
requirements
That was
and-
considered during the planning and zoning hearing.
It's in the mapping and stuff, it's
Yeah,
in this already, that the parking.
And that was a point of contention, or not a point of contention, but a point of emphasis for Mr. Causey during the discussion in
Yes.
front of planning and zoning. That was addressed by them.
Before, if this were granted in the next meeting's vote, would it go back to planning and zoning for details, or is it done?
The planning and zoning steps with this was in the initial approval. So
So there
we
you
are
go.
essentially the blessing of that. It would be here today. That's the reason why a commissioner cannot serve on planning and zoning commission, is because you would essentially be authenticating any action you take on the planning commission. So you all are the final say for this, absent any appeals.
So it does go back in front of the it shouldn't go back.
No, Commissioner Brewer, it would not go back. The final action would be here with the,
Here.
with the commission. That is correct.
Only reason I ask that is because I'm trying to see where that parking can be stipulated, for whatever kind of business activity they've got there, and there is none.
I can get confirmation from Kevin Causey on this, and we will provide that to the commissioners before the next meeting.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other discussion? All right, there being none, this again will be for vote on the February 10 meeting at 6 p.m. Ordinance 26-03, an ordinance of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, changing the zoning classification for property in the downtown Baker Court corridor within city limits. This again is a first reading. Mr. Attorney, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas the 13 property owners of 504, 506, 507, 508, 510, 513, 516, 517, 518, 519, 521, 522, and 524 Baker Court have petitioned to preserve their neighborhood by requesting a zone change from R2 two-family residential duplexes to R1 single-family residential zone in order to better align zoning with existing and intended single-family uses. And whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission conducted a public hearing on the requested zone change on October 15th, 2025, in the course of which it received evidence and testimony from persons in favor of and opposed to the requested zone change. And whereas at the conclusion of the public hearing, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted to recommend that the zone change be granted. And whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission at its meeting adopted written findings of fact as to the zone change, and the issue is now before the Board of Commissioners for final determination. And whereas the Board of Commissioners believe it to be in the public interest that it adopts the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission in accordance with the findings of fact adopted by that body, now therefore be it ordained that, Section 1, the Board of Commissioners does hereby adopt the recommendation of the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission as to the requested zone change. The properties in question located in Richmond, Madison County, Kentucky, as to which the zone change shall apply are 504, 506, 507, 508, 510, 513, 516, 517, 518, 519, 521, 522, and 524 Baker Court. The Board of Commissioners does hereby adopt the written findings of fact adopted by the Planning and Zoning Commission as its findings of fact. In accordance with those findings, the zoning of said property shall be and hereby are changed from R2 to R1. The Director of Planning and Zoning shall make the appropriate changes to the official map of the City of Richmond, Kentucky. Section 3, This ordinance shall be effective immediately upon its enactment, following second reading and publication in accordance with the requirements of applicable Kentucky law.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
This is ordinance 26-03. Again, a first reading. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion?
I move.
Commissioner Newby.
Second.
And Commissioner Cole. Is there any discussion?
I know we've had a lot of issues with parking there over the years, and I think especially since it seems to be a cut through from Eastern to Main Street. I know personally, I've pestered the chief with a lot of phone calls over the past several years, so it's been an issue. It's a lot of
Mayor, if I may,
Yes, sir, please.
these 13 applicants are lifelong residents of Baker Court, and what they've started to see in their neighborhood and others is they didn't realize their zoning was currently R2, and they're starting to see some duplexes be built and turn into rentals, and so they all came together and want their properties zoned back to R1, which is single family.
Can they, like a house be rented?
A single-family house?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can rent a single-family house. They're just concerned about these single-family homes in their neighborhood turning into duplexes and rentals, and then you have more parking problems and more traffic.
And based upon the research on this conducted by Kevin and before that, is that the zoning in its current state was, I wouldn't say accidental, but maybe an oversight at some point to where I think the perception of everybody living there up until fairly recently
Yeah,
was that these were all R1 anyway. And so in trying to resolve this, the position of the city was somewhat, to kind of steal from Ben Franklin, you stand together or hang separately. So we're like, okay, if y'all are serious about this, we need everybody on board. And to the residents' credit, everybody said, yes, this is exactly what we want. So it's not a situation where there's an issue of kind of reverse spot zoning to where we've got one house there that's not going to be zoned. Everybody is on board with this.
Everybody is going to be
R1.
correctly, can I say it
Back to
that way?
R1.
Maybe I would, instead of correctly, I would probably say based upon the historical understanding.
Chris, that's what I was going to ask about. Originally, this was what, R1?
I think what happened is years ago when, and I think this, my history that I've dug into, back in the late 60s, early 70s, they rezoned a lot of the neighborhoods around the university R3 to allow people to rent rooms to students. And so therefore, you have a lot of these neighborhoods at R2, R3 to allow those rooms to be rented. And what we've backed into, kind of like on Oak Street and High Street, we've seen what's happened with those. You know, I remember back in the 80s, those were all single-family homes, but because of the zoning was there already, they're able to back into an R3 or R2 apartments or duplexes. So I think, you know, they noticed, these long-life citizens there noticed that they were R2, and to avoid this in neighborhoods they've lived their whole lives, they want to go back to R1.
Before they could get changed.
That's right, yeah.
In actuality.
So I just want to make sure I understood. So basically, the people that live there started at the grassroots level, and they're asking us to do this. So this is what they want, correct?
correct.
Commissioner, I'll be happy to clarify that, yes, this was not at the behest of the city. We were approached by the residents, and when we were approached, we sort of set out the process they would need to follow to do that, which is what is before the commission today.
And
That's
actually,
impressive.
Glenda Dryden that lives up there kind of led the charge on all this. Give her some recognition.
Well, it's good that they did this and not have this forced upon them. I certainly appreciate their candor about going forward on this, and I'd say probably there'll be other places doing the same thing later on.
It's a preventive action of sorts. Any further discussion? All right. Ordinance 26-04. An ordinance of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, changing the zoning classification for property located at 614 Oldham Avenue within city limits. This again is a first reading. We will not vote. Mr. Attorney, please.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. Whereas the property owner of 614 Oldham Avenue has petitioned to preserve their neighborhood by requesting a zone change from R3 multifamily residential apartments to R1 single-family residential zone to better align zoning with existing and intended single-family uses, and whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission conducted a public hearing on the requested zone change on October 15th, 2025, during which it received evidence and testimony from persons in favor of and opposed to the requested zone change, and whereas at the conclusion of the public hearing, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted to recommend that the zone change be granted, and whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission at its meeting adopted written findings of fact as to the zone change, and the issue is now before the Board of Commissioners for final determination, and whereas the Board of Commissioners believes it to be in the public interest that it adopts the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission in accordance with the findings of fact adopted by that body. Now therefore be it ordained that the Board of Commissioners does hereby adopt the recommendation of the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission to the requested zone change. The property in question located in Richmond, Madison County, Kentucky, as to which the zone change shall apply are 614 Oldham Avenue, .17 acres, Frazewood, Lot 10. The Board of Commissioners does hereby adopt the written findings of fact adopted by the Planning and Zoning Commission as its findings of fact. In accordance with those findings, the zoning of said property shall be and hereby are changed from R3 to R1. The Director of Planning and Zoning shall make the appropriate changes to the official map of the City of Richmond, Kentucky. Section 3, the ordinance shall be effective immediately upon its enactment, following second reading and publication in accordance with the requirements of applicable Kentucky law.
Thank you, sir. That's the reading of ordinance 26-04. May we have a motion, please, as this is first reading, to bring to the floor for discussion?
So moved.
Commissioner Cole
Second,
and Commissioner Newby. Is there any discussion?
the working man's getting tired.
Mayor, again, this is one, we don't normally see him go this direction, but you're going from R3 back to R1, and I don't know how they caught this. It is in a single-family neighborhood, so they're requesting that it be rezoned from R3, which is multifamily, back to R1, single-family.
No idea how these happened?
No, I'm looking through the minutes, and I don't know how it got zoned that way, or when. I'd have to do some further digging.
So again, this is the person that owns the property that's asking for this, correct?
That is correct.
That is correct.
Just to that one. Are the neighbors R3s? I'm sorry, I didn't do the homework here. I wasn't expecting this, but is the rest of the street R3?
Looks all R1 to me. I can't say for sure. It looks
Yeah,
like it's all
that's the way it's
single-family to me.
built. Yeah, okay.
That-
I'll write it and find out.
Yeah, based upon my recollection of the meeting before the planning and zoning, that is in fact the case, that this, for whatever reason, this is sort of one of those unicorn properties that for whatever reason it was zoned the way it was, and the intention behind this is for uniformity and conformity. So, oh, there's man of the hour. Been taking all your slings and arrows up here, brother.
A little late to the game, aren't we?
You figured you were going to get called on, so you might as well
I just
come on up.
volunteered to get out of it.
I needed to phone a friend.
No, to answer some of these questions where these zones are reverting back, much like Rob attested to, I've dove into a lot of the zoning, and it's just simply, some of the stuff is outdated. It doesn't meet what today has become. So, in essence, the property that's in question right now, it's surrounded by R3 on its side of the road. Across the road, you have the R1s. So, much like this area and the others that some of these that you're hearing about, it's just an area that does not represent the existing zone. So, we're having a lot of conversations with public and they're understanding, well, why is this? So with regard to council and some conversation we've had in the past, I'm sort of approaching these key areas, and you'll probably see some of these in the future, of trying to correct zones such as single-family homes in I-2 zones, which if you have an I-2 zone, its setbacks are literally larger than the lot itself. So as we move forward, we'll start attacking some of these things and bring them to your attention.
Thank you.
Did
sir.
you say they were R3 on both sides of this?
R3 on the side of, what is it, 614?
614.
It's R3 all along that side, but across the road
It's R1.
is R1.
All the houses on across the road are all R1?
Correct.
And that's the newer side, isn't it, if I'm seeing it correctly? That's the newer.
It's a tad bit newer.
Yeah.
The plats are extremely dated. You're probably looking back in the early 80s.
So how did we determine that this one house wants to be R1, right?
Yeah, they're requesting it.
And then the houses next to it are R3,
That's,
and they're
yeah,
going to remain R3
at this time. that's
unless
correct.
they request the change also.
And how it got that way, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I think it demands some further discussion. I don't
Good
mind
luck.
sharing what I was sitting here thinking. Why would we not change that whole side of the street to R1?
Yeah.
We would,
Would we be coming back up each
We'll
time
talk.
for a house change?
I'm sure we could take the temperature of the property owners.
Yeah.
Be nice.
I would do that first.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that could be, yeah. All right. Ordinance 26-05, ordinance of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, changing the zoning classification for property located at 1212 West Main Street within city limits. This, again, is a first reading. Let's see, who should read it? Oh, Mr. Attorney, please.
I'd be happy to volunteer for that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas McAllister Business Properties LLC, owners, has filed with the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission an application for a zoning map amendment at 1212 West Main Street with .539 acres, Richmond, Kentucky. And whereas the property is currently with zone classification, I think there was a typo there. It was
P1.
P1. We can make that correction
P1
before the next.
professional offices.
P1 professional offices,
And requesting.
and requesting
B3 highway
a
business.
change to B3 highway business. I will have that Scrivener's error fixed before the next meeting. Apologize for not catching it. Whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission conducted a public hearing on the requested zone change on November 19th, 2025, in the course of which it received evidence and testimony from persons in favor of and opposed to the requested zone change. And whereas at the conclusion of the public hearings, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted to recommend that the zone change be granted. And whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission, at its meeting, adopted written findings of fact as to the zone change, and the issue is now before the Board of Commissioners for final determination. And whereas the Board of Commissioners believes it to be in the public interest that it adopts the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission in accordance with the findings of fact adopted by that body. Now therefore be it ordained that, Section 1, the Board of Commissioners does hereby adopt the recommendation of the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission as to the requested zone change. The property in question located in Richmond, Madison County, Kentucky, as to which the zone change shall apply are 1212 West Main Street, Tract D, .539 acres plus or minus, Richmond, Kentucky, Deed Book 782, page 618. The Board of Commissioners does hereby adopt the written findings of fact adopted by the Planning and Zoning Commission as its findings of fact. In accordance with these findings, the zoning of said property shall be and hereby are changed P1 professional offices and requesting change to B3 highway business. Section 2, the Director of Planning and Zoning shall make the appropriate changes to the official map of the City of Richmond, Kentucky. Section 3, this ordinance shall be effective immediately upon its enactment, following second reading and publication in accordance with the requirements of applicable Kentucky law.
Thank you, sir. That's ordinance 26-05, first reading. May we have a motion, please, bring to the floor for discussion?
So moved.
Commissioner Cole
Second.
and Commissioner Goble. Is there any discussion? Let's see. I think when I was 5 years old, wasn't that a gas station there?
Maybe across the
Never
street.
mind. Never mind, Rob.
I don't remember.
Never mind. I think so, wasn't it?
It may be.
Nobody can answer that question for you.
Used to fill my bicycle tires up there.
Is there any discussion then? From
So-
professional to B3 highway business? Yes, Commissioner Cole.
Oh, I just was trying to get my brain wrapped around it. So the documentation we have in here is a little bit different, but does that just need cleaned up a little bit?
Let me see what I got.
I thought it said B,
B3 highway business, it's being zoned from
P1
P1
to
professional
B3.
offices to B3.
Which that's reflected in the last section. I believe under sub 3 of the order.
Yep.
so it would be, the proposal is to change it from professional office to highway business.
Yes,
correct?
under,
Highway
under,
businesses
in the
is
last,
correct.
yeah, the last paragraph of section 1 of the ordinance is in accordance with these findings, the zoning of said property shall be and hereby are changed from P1 professional offices and requesting a change to B3 highway business.
This is a property out right next to Arlington on the left going out West Main. It used to be, actually Richmond Register was in there, and then there was a internet company, I believe, as well, and some
Yes.
offices.
The church, I think, downstairs.
Yeah, that's right.
Welcome.
They were operating as conditional use, right?
That could be.
Any further discussion? What kinds of, I'm sorry again, but what kinds of allowances would be made then by the B3 designation? What, an example of what might go there that,
I believe it'd be consistent with what's currently there. And that, my recollection is correct, is that they were operating under a conditional use permit up until this point, so this zoning change would just be to zone it consistent with the businesses that have
Businesses that are
been
there.
operating there, but the conditional use would not continue due to the change of business, which would not survive. The conditional use is only appropriate for the type of business as long as it's there. There are different type of retails going in or different type of businesses going in, and that is why this zone change was requested in order to have the zone line up with how it's been used historically, as long as the register's been there.
thank you, yeah.
It does look like in the photos that there's a decent parking lot.
Yeah. Which makes you happy, doesn't it?
it?
It's always good to
Well,
be
y'all
able to
used to park on the side of the building,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Yes, and,
It's literally the worst parking lot in the world.
oh, there you go.
They literally gave us like these tracks for our boots,
Yeah.
for when we started working there, to go up and down that hill. To get, like, for the winter weather, because it's so bad, like, honestly, that hill to get down to the back, it's awful.
Yeah,
Like, if it's bad,
Deceiving,
you
Tammy.
can't park on the side, because if you try to back out, you're
Yeah.
gonna slide down the hill, literally.
That's funny.
all right, that's ordinance 2605. We'll
It's
have it on the agenda for next meeting, and, thank you. Ordinance 26-06, ordinance of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, changing the zoning classification for property located at 1180 Berea Road within the city limits. Is the January fever
Yeah.
Seriously,
zone
Welcome to
changes?
2026. Yeah.
You're working us hard.
50 of them.
We're gonna get paid by the word this year.
Let's see. Who shall read it this time? Oh,
I would
Mr. Attorney.
I would be happy to, Mr. Mayor. Whereas Qualex Machining LLC owners has filed with the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission an application for a zoning map amendment at 1180 Berea Road, Lot 1, with 3.4305 acres, Richmond, Kentucky. And whereas the property is currently with zone classification B3 highway business and requesting I2 heavy industry. And whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission conducted a public hearing on the requested zone change on November 19th, 2025, in the course of which it received evidence and testimony from persons in favor of and opposed to the requested zone change. And whereas at the conclusion of the public hearings, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted to recommend that the zone change be granted. And whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission at its meeting adopted written findings of fact as to the zone change, and the issue is now before the Board of Commissioners for final determination. And whereas the Board of Commissioners believes it to be in the public interest that it adopts the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission in accordance with the findings of fact adopted by that body. Now therefore be it ordained that, Section 1, the Board of Commissioners does hereby adopt the recommendation of the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission as to the requested zone change, The property in question, located in Richmond, Madison County, Kentucky, as to which the zone change shall apply, are 1180 Berea Road, Lot 1, 3.4305 acres plus or minus, Richmond, Kentucky. Deed Book 652, page 601. The Board of Commissioners does hereby adopt the written findings of fact adopted by the Planning and Zoning Commission as its findings of fact. In accordance with these findings, the zoning of said property shall be and hereby are changed B3 Highway Business and requesting I2 Heavy Industry. Section 2, the Director of Planning and Zoning shall make the appropriate changes to the official map of the city of Richmond, Kentucky. Section 3, the ordinance shall be effective immediately upon its enactment, following second reading and publication in accordance with the requirements of applicable Kentucky law.
Thank you, sir. That's ordinance 26-06. First reading again. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Commissioner Goble and Commissioner Brewer. Is there any discussion? And I will say this, I think that is appropriate, the kind, and I was looking for David Stipes. But I'm sure David worked on this with them and perhaps even Kerry, but for the kind of industries that would go in that place, and I think even now, I never did know what Qualex did, but David was explaining to me. But I would think, and they do have parking. Yes, indeed, they do have good parking, so.
Yeah, they did add parking for this expansion. They're currently under, I think it's 100,000 square feet. They're wanting
Yes.
to add additional 50,000 square feet to the front of the property.
Outstanding.
If you're not familiar with Qualex, they manufacture water treatment systems that are sent to third world countries to treat water. So it's a really cool business.
Yes, indeed.
And the good thing about this is it can mean jobs.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
In the same spirit, thank you, Commissioner Cole, because in the same spirit that David Stipes would always remind us, it isn't always the big companies that would want to come into Richmond to begin their manufacturing operation and bringing a certain number of jobs. He said it's a matter of growing
Yeah.
those that we already have, and here's an opportunity, I think, to do that. I remember a former mayor, before that building was occupied several years ago, came back and said it's got snake skins in it. So I'm glad somebody's in there doing something. All righty, any further discussion? Friend of mine tells me all the time, the church, too much information.
Move along.
Move along. Any further discussion? All right, there being none. Okay, ordinance 26-07, ordinance of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, declaring the city's intent to annex 1055 Berea Road property into city limits and referring the annexation to the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission for a zoning recommendation. Again, this is a first reading. Mr. Attorney, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas 1055 Berea Road, which is IBS US LLC, the owner of the property described below, has requested a voluntary annexation into city limits of the said tract hereinafter the property. And whereas the property is contiguous to the city's boundaries and is urban in character, and whereas no part of the property proposed to be annexed is included within the boundary of another incorporated city, and whereas the city of Richmond can provide city services to the property, and whereas the Board of Commissioners of the city of Richmond, Kentucky finds it to be in the public interest that the property be annexed into the city limits, now therefore be it ordained as follows. Section 1, in accordance with the provisions of Chapter 81A of the Kentucky Revised Statutes, the city of Richmond, Kentucky does hereby express its intention to annex into the city limits that certain tract of property, more particularly described as follows, to wit, IBS US LLC, 0.6135 acres plus or minus, 1055 Berea Road, Richmond, Kentucky, Deed Book 846, page 650. Section 2, this matter is hereby referred to the City of Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission for that body's recommendation as to the appropriate zoning classification. Section 3, this ordinance shall be effective immediately upon its adoption following second reading and publication in accordance with the provisions of applicable Kentucky law.
Thank you, sir. And the reading of ordinance 26-07, the first reading, and May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion?
I move.
Second.
Commissioner Newby, Commissioner Cole. Is there any discussion? I'm glad to see this.
Yeah, it's kind of a housekeeping matter, really. It's surrounded by city property. City utilities run right through the property. If my memory serves me, I think it was either a chiropractor
It was.
office.
Yes.
Yeah, or I was gonna say a veterinary office, but it makes sense to have it annexed into the city.
I've not been inside, but nice little building.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'd be some opportunities that would, Scott, do we service that?
They can attach to our water, to our sewer.
But we don't already?
Yeah, water, I think is,
Oh, really?
we owe the sewer back. That was originally Combs Chiropractic, he built that years ago.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Any further discussion? All right, there being none, the vote will be on our February 10 regular meeting, provided we don't run into the kinds of things that we did, of course, this week. Order 26-08, an order of the City of Richmond adopting various job descriptions. Mr. City Manager, please.
Yes, sir. Whereas the City of Richmond has adopted job descriptions for city employees, and whereas after review, it has been determined these positions need to be added and/or amended to provide more professional growth within departments, now therefore be ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners, the following job descriptions and pay grades for the City of Richmond is hereby adopted. Tourism Department, Social Media Manager, pay grade 4. Office Manager, pay grade 4. Executive Director, pay grade 8. Administration Department, Industrial Development Coordinator, pay grade 4. The attached job description shall be made part of the city's job descriptions and incorporated into their departmental structure. This order shall be in full force and effect upon reading and adoption by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. This is Order 26-08. May we have a motion, please, bring the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Brewer and Commissioner Goble. Is there any discussion?
I would just say, Mayor, that the office manager job under tourism, they changed the assistant director position they had to an office manager and made it a grade 4. The social media manager was already in place, but the pay grade was incorrect on it. And then the executive director position under tourism, that position had not been revised in 20 years. So we updated it to current revisions. And then the industrial development coordinator position is one that we'll probably be adding FY '27 in July, if not sooner.
So that one would be a new position, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All right, there being none, this is an order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Ceremonial Order 26-09, an order of the City of Richmond accepting a resignation by an employee in the fire department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas Brett Congleton in the fire department has submitted a resignation notice to the city, now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners accepts the resignation of Brett Congleton from the fire department as firefighter 3, effective January 31st. The Board of Commissioners would like to thank him for his service since 2020. This order shall become effective immediately upon adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 26-09. May we have a motion, please, bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Cole,
Second.
Commissioner Brewer, is there any discussion?
Mayor, if I may?
Yes, sir, please.
I want to thank Brett for his service, and I reached out to him. I'm longtime friends with his dad and his uncle and and his aunt as well, but I wanted to reach out to him and just see if everything was okay and why he might be leaving, but he's going to start building houses. He's already got a couple started in Garrett County and sees the market in Madison County, so he's going to give that a shot for a while. So he certainly had nothing but kind things to say about that department in the city of Richmond.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Order 26-10, an order of the City of Richmond hiring an employee for the Administration Department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas due to a recent retirement in the Administration Department, the city wishes to hire an Industrial Development Director, and whereas the position was advertised and interviews conducted, and whereas the interview committee has made a recommendation for this hire. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following individual is hired contingent upon their successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements as Industrial Development Director for the Administration Department effective February 9th, 2026. Pay grade 7, Brad Salden. This order shall be in full force and effect upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 26-10. May we have a motion, please, and bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Goble
Second.
and Commissioner Brewer. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, if I may.
Yes, sir, please.
I just want to have Brad come up and introduce himself, if he wouldn't mind, and I want to say that, Brad's got over 30 years of experience with Kentucky Utilities and Economic Development. He's spent his last several years in Winchester and Clark County as their industrial development person. This is a great opportunity for him with what David Stipes has done as far as setting the table with the Build Ready sites. And we're excited to get him on board. I don't know that I'll be going to Clark County anytime soon. We've taken their HR director from the county
They
and
come
the
in.
industrial
Head on
development from the
platter.
city, so I've got a lot of friends over there, but I think I'll wait. But Brad, you want to introduce yourself right quick?
I'll be glad to. Thank you, Rob, Mayor, Commissioner.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you
Good
all.
to see you,
Glad
sir.
to be here. I appreciate the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to being on the team. As Rob was saying, we've had some success in the past with similar situations in other communities, and I'm excited to bring best practices here so that we can move the community forward, create jobs and opportunity for the future generations to come.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Each
Thank
one of
you.
you, and spending some time, and, it's a team effort. Economic development's not something you do to a community, it's something you do for a community, and it takes all of us to get it done. So I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you, and appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. Welcome aboard.
Yep.
Thank you.
We've already taken the vote, haven't we?
Should we vote to hire him?
Let's take a vote to see if we're going to take a vote to hire.
Yeah.
We've already done that, haven't we? Didn't- Oh,
Commissioner
Madam Clerk,
Goble?
please, yeah.
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole.
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Order 26-11, an order of the City of Richmond appointing members to the Housing Authority Board. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas there are several positions on the Richmond Housing Authority Board that need to be appointed and reappointed, and whereas there are citizens that have expressed the commitment to attend all meetings, now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following individuals are hereby newly appointed to the City of Richmond Housing Authority Board for the remaining terms. Steve Gregg expires 2028. Effie Fields expires 2029. The following individuals hereby reappointed to the Richmond Housing Authority Board for a full term of 4 years. Jamie Jordan, expiring 2030. This order shall be in full force and effect upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Crucial appointments. Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 26-11. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
A move.
Commissioner Newby
Second.
and Commissioner Goble. Any discussion? Certainly an understatement, certainly an important board in the operation of the city, as the whole conversation in this atmosphere is housing, whether unhoused or homeless or public housing or Section 8 sponsored housing or supported housing, assisted housing. Good to see Susan in the, sorry to say, in the service today, in the meeting today. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Order 26-12, an order of the City of Richmond reappointing a member to the Section 8 Housing Authority Board. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the term of Jamie Jordan has expired on the Section 8 Housing Board, and whereas this board member has requested to continue serving and has made a commitment to attend all meetings. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following individual is hereby reappointed to the City of Richmond Section 8 Housing Board, Jamie Jordan, expiring 2030. This order shall be in full force by reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 26-12. We've heard that name before, haven't we?
Yep.
Few times today.
Scotty.
Scott, that's right. Alias Scotty. But his willingness to serve certainly will not go unappreciated. Any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Order, this is ceremonial order 26-13. An order of the City of Richmond accepting resignation by an employee in the Public Works Department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas Billy Brown in the Public Works Department has submitted a resignation notice, now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners accepts the resignation of Billy Brown from the Public Works Department as Equipment Operator 1, effective January 14th. This order shall become effective immediately upon adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's ceremonial order 26-13. May we have a motion, please, bring the floor for discussion and approval.
So moved.
Commissioner Brewer,
Second.
Commissioner Newby, is there any discussion? Are they pretty much, Rob, up to staffing?
With the next order, we'll be fully staffed, yeah.
Thank you, sir. That was just a lead-in. I want to segue there.
Good transition.
Yeah.
No discussion? Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Order 26-14, an order of the City of Richmond hiring an employee for Public Works Department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the Public Works Department is in need of an additional Equipment Operator 1, and whereas the position was advertised and interviews conducted, and whereas the committee has recommended a hire for the position. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following individual is hired contingent upon their successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements as an Equipment Operator 1 for the Public Works Department effective February 2nd. Pay grade 2, Tristan Steinmetz. This order shall be effective immediately upon adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 26-14. May we have a motion, please? Bring the floor for discussion, then approval.
So moved.
Commissioner Cole,
Second.
Commissioner Newby, is there any discussion? And this one does complete all of that staffing.
Yeah, I believe so.
Madam Clerk, please.
That's right.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Order 26-15. An order of the City of Richmond promoting an employee in the Fire Department to Firefighter 2. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas it is in the intention of the Board of Commissioners to have highly qualified personnel within the city departments, and whereas firefighters 1, 2, and 3 classifications provide firefighter personnel the opportunity for personal growth, education while improving the workforce. And whereas a notice of opportunity was given to all eligible and interested personnel within the fire department to test and qualify for firefighter 2. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following promotion effective February 6 payroll as a part of the approved fire pay scale 25-26 budget. Firefighter 2, pay grade 3, Matthew Frost. He was originally hired as a firefighter 1 in 2022. This order shall be in full force and effect upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 26-15. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion and approval.
So moved.
Commissioner Goble,
Second.
Commissioner Brewer, is there any discussion? Chief, you're pretty well staffed at this point? Yes, sir. Outstanding, outstanding. And certainly publicly, I want to commend what you all, as one of our departments, have to do during this season. And you do it so well, so we are grateful to you. Thank you, sir. Any further discussion?
I wanted to just
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
our chief as well.
Yes.
That in our packets that you're including all the continuing education. I'm a firm believer that we all need to keep learning and continuing education, and I've devoted a big, huge part of my career to that. But I love the fact that you're not only checking that they have the continuing education and the training hours to be eligible, but just documenting all the training, and I'm impressed every time at how much training it takes to do what you all do. But thank you for including that.
Thank you, Commissioner Cole. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Order 26-16, order of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, authorizing the city to provide local match funding and serve as the grantee with the Kentucky Product Development Initiative, KPDI, grant as awarded for the Richmond Industrial Park South 4 project. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the Kentucky Product Development Initiative, the KPDI program, is a program to help communities to better position to attract jobs and business investment. And for the Richmond project site to qualify for eligibility through the program, local match funding was required to be identified at the time of the application submission. The money awarded to Richmond for the KPDI 2024 Round 2 fund application is $498,000. It is required a 50% local match, due to which funds will be allocated from the 2022 KPDI fund. To participate in this program, certain particulars are set forth below. And whereas the Board of Commissioners for the City of Richmond deems it to be in the public interest that the city cooperate with the program as an inducement to local industries in the Richmond Industrial Park and to create jobs within the community. Now therefore be it ordered by the Board of Commissioners for the City of Richmond, Kentucky, that the city will provide 50% in local match funding for the project. The city serves as the grantee, and the RIDC will serve as the beneficiary during the administration of the grant funds at the local level. The administration for the local KPDI project shall be governed by the compliance requirements as applicable to the program established through the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development, Department for Business Development, Kentucky Department for Local Government, Kentucky Economic Development Finance Authority, whichever event shall occur first. This participation agreement on behalf of the city is pending with the RIDC and the city intention to complete all necessary administrative steps to participate in the program. The city's obligation to provide the local match funding shall be conditioned on the approval of the funding consideration by the Economic Development Fund application by the Kentucky Economic Development Finance Authority. This order shall be in full force and effect upon reading and adoption by the Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's order 26-16. May we have a motion, please, bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner
Second.
Goble, Commissioner Brewer. Just a quick question. That means our contribution is about $250,000. Is that?
Yeah, that's
50% of
correct.
That figure?
So I got a call Tuesday from Andy Lutner at the Cabinet for Economic Development in Frankfurt, and the most recent round of PDIs, this project didn't fall in, but they did back into some money that didn't get used from 2022. But we have to follow those application guidelines, which was a 50% match. And we would put this in our budget amendment. I think there is some money under capital projects that we could probably fit it into. I'll have to see the balance. If not, we'll put it in our budget amendment in February to match the funds. It would go towards the entrance at the new Industrial Park 4 on Duncannon, so that would give us an entrance right there.
Thank you, sir. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. This is the time set aside for public comments. Is there anyone who's come today that wishes to make comments? Please state your name for the clerk to record. And, yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Jason Knuckles. I'm a lifelong resident of Richmond, more specifically Highland View. What we have here today is a petition opposing the multifamily rezoning in this single-family residential area of Highland View, signed by every single resident of the street and those in adjoining neighborhoods that will be negatively affected by this zone change. So if you don't mind, I'm going to read this so it's in the record. All right, so petition opposing multifamily rezoning in single-family residential area, Highland View neighborhood, Richmond, Kentucky. We, the undersigned residents of Highland View and the surrounding neighborhoods, respectfully submit to this petition to formally state our position regarding the proposed rezoning and development of a multifamily apartment complex at the end of our street. Support for existing single-family residential zoning. The residents of Highland View support and rely upon the existing single-family residential zoning that uniformly governs our neighborhood. This zoning classification is consistent with the long-established land use pattern, traffic capacity, infrastructure, and residential character of the area. Kentucky courts have long recognized that zoning stability is essential to protecting property owners' reasonable investment-backed expectations. In American Beauty Homes Corp. versus Jefferson County Planning and Zoning, Kentucky, 1964, the Kentucky Supreme Court held that zoning decisions must be consistent with the community's comprehensive plan and may not be arbitrary or capricious. We absolutely do not oppose residential development that conforms to the current single-family zoning designation of adjoining properties. Our objection is solely limited to the development that requires an inconsistent and unlawful zoning change. The proposed rezoning of a single parcel within the uniformly single-family neighborhood to permit multifamily use constitutes spot zoning, which Kentucky courts have consistently found to be unlawful when it lacks legitimate public purpose. In Perkins v. Joint City Planning Commission, Kenton, Kentucky, 1972, the court held that rezoning a small parcel for the use inconsistent with surrounding properties, primarily for the benefit of a single landowner, is invalid where it does not further the comprehensive plan. Similarly, in Greater Cincinnati Marine Service Incorporated v. City of Ludlow, Kentucky, 1980, the Kentucky Supreme Court defined illegal spot zoning as the singling out of a small parcel of land for use classification totally different from that of surrounding properties for the benefit of an owner of such property to the detriment of the neighboring landowners. The proposed multifamily rezoning at Highland View satisfies each of these criteria, therefore fails under established Kentucky law. Arbitrary and unreasonable zoning change. Kentucky courts have further held that zoning changes must bear a substantial relationship to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. The City of Louisville v. Kavanaugh, 1973, the court ruled that zoning actions that are arbitrary, unreasonable, or unsupported by evidence of public necessity are invalid. No such public necessity exists here. The introduction of a multifamily apartment complex into a single-family neighborhood does not serve the public welfare and instead imposes disproportionate burdens on existing residents. Allowing a 16-unit multifamily development in a single-family residential street will result in a significant increase in daily traffic on a road not designed for high-density use, increased risk to children, pedestrians, and emergency response access, infrastructure strain that is inconsistent with the neighborhood's original design and zoning. These impacts would most likely not occur if the property were developed in accordance with the adjacent and adjoining properties that do not include multifamily zoning and exist currently as single-family zoning areas, further underscoring the arbitrariness of this proposed rezoning. Our request for relief, we respectfully request that the City of Richmond and Madison County Planning and Zoning Commission deny any rezoning, conditional use permit, or variance allowing multifamily use at this location. If they intend to use Highland View as their source of entry, uphold the existing single-family zoning classification applicable to the surrounding properties. Ensure all zoning decisions remain consistent with the city's comprehensive plan as required by American Beauty Homes. Prevent unlawful spot zoning in accordance with the Perkins and Greater Cincinnati Marine Service. Protect the public health, safety, and welfare of established neighborhoods as required under City of Louisville v. Kavanaugh. In conclusion, this petition is not opposition to lawful development. It is a request of fair and consistent and lawful enforcement of Kentucky zoning law. Granting multifamily zoning in a single-family neighborhood undermines zoning integrity, violates established Kentucky case law, and sets a dangerous precedent for neighborhoods throughout Richmond. We respectfully urge city officials to reject the proposed rezoning and preserve the single-family residential character of Highland View. Now, the back page is an overhead view of all the surrounding areas. There are multifamily units on their property, but they're within 1,000 feet of this proposed building. There is nothing but single-family residential homes. If they're going to use Highland View as their entrance for this, it's going to be a Highland View address. We don't have multifamily on Highland View. We have single-family residential homes. That's why we're asking to keep it. We're not trying to be unreasonable. If they want to develop that and put some homes in where people can come in and put some roots down, hey, that's great. We welcome neighbors. Apartments, we know what they are. You know what I mean? I have nothing against them. They're necessary, but they're not necessary at the end of every single neighborhood because there's a patch of land that you could put one on. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Knuckles, thank you. Thank you. Is there someone else? Public comments period. Anyone else? Please come state your name for the clerk, please, to record.
Good afternoon. My name is Veronica Holman. I live on Overland Drive, and my property is adjacent to the development that's in question. Just want to give some background. My parents bought that property back in 1983. They were lifelong. It was James and Callie Coakley. They were residents here until their death, and they were in their 90s. And so when the house was there, I lived in Scott County, but I liked Richmond, and so I thought, well, I lived in Scott County not far from the horse park, so I'm used to land. So this is 3 acres in town, and when I saw those 3 acres and we would be close to everything, I thought this is a great place for my husband and I to retire. So we've spent a lot of money fixing up this property, putting a gazebo on it and all of this. It's 3 acres. And so the proposed apartment complex would sit right next to my property. And so I would sit on my gazebo and look at an apartment building. And so I'm feeling like that's not a great use of the property. I'm just like everybody else. I'm all for people having affordable housing, and I'm all for houses being built there. But I just ask that the apartment building be reconsidered.
Thank you, Ms. Holman. Is there another? Yes, come please.
First, I apologize for my voice. Doesn't go with the person. I'm a resident of Highland View. My name is Keitha Kelmes. I just became aware of what they're wanting to build, the map that Jason provided you all. I haven't lived there as long as Jason and most of the residents of Highland View, but my mother bought a house there in the early 2000s, which I now own. That house would have never been bought if that street had not been a dead end. And it's the only reason that it was bought. And this is a dead-end street with currently 21 homes on it that have all been there. And even though I don't know most of my neighbors' names, they know that I work in the yard And there's always been somebody walking their dogs, kids playing. This is a dead-end street with 21 homes on it. And I know of one home that was in the 1940s. I don't know when everybody's house was built. I happened to be in probably the newest house on the street. But I know everybody there's pretty much been there their whole life. And they built their homes for the most part. Or they come there like me because of what is there. And it being a single family. And to go to the end of our dead-end, narrow street, and the 4 homes they want to add, which is an R1, is no problem. They can do that. But to use our street as an entrance to, the only entrance and exit to this street, and add a 16-unit building, which they've only allotted 32 spaces to park on this map, which is ridiculous to begin with. There's no overflow parking. There's no anything. This street was not intended for that, and the spot zoning that Jason spoke about backs that up entirely. So you're wanting to double the traffic just by adding, pretty much doubling the traffic just by the apartment building. The 4 houses, it's gonna add traffic, but that's an R1, that's no big deal. If they wanna build those 4 houses and build another house or 2 in place of this apartment building, there is no problem with that at all. But it seems far-fetched, and there's a lot of case law to back up not doing this and the impact in so many ways that it'll have on not only the residents in Highland View, but other people that, I'm not for sure, is it Overland? Overland area. And I've just now been aware of this for like 2 weeks, and I have much more on paper, but due to time, I will not get into it. But it has to do with environmental and lots of other things on top of the spot zoning.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your time.
Is there someone else? And is it, Terry, is this the same topic? Oh, if you will limit it, then please, certainly this is an opportunity for comments, but I think some of the information we're getting is what was and should have been presented to Planning and Zoning when they sent the recommendation to us. So go ahead, this is public comments period.
My name is Terry Connor. I have, my home is a home that I was raised in, moved there when I was in the 4th grade, and we had moved back 10 years after I was married and have been there for over 40 years. Highland View needs to stay in dead-end street because originally from where the fire, that offer a fire extinguisher place, a fire hydrant, that used to be a single family driveway for a couple of houses. And these 2 homes, or 3 or 4 homes that sit and butt up to this, get to look at the sign that is there now, that is a big digital sign, if you drove there. And what bothers me about developing, we're not against developing because I was there before the bypass, and it was a farm, and we played, on the farm, visited a graveyard behind Casa, or where Casa used to be. But, so I know this area, but now we have watched development come, and they have not considered anything about people that have been there all our lives. We got no privacy. Mance, I get to walk through my house, and I get to see, I don't have to even turn a light on because of Mance car lot. But see, you develop stuff in a single-family place area and offer us nothing. No privacy. Miss Carroll gets to look at a sign. Bob Myers and his family, they get to look at a sign today that is humongous. I can see it from my house, and I'm down the road a little bit. So I speak on their behalf. I wish, and I ask you all to please keep this as a dead-end street. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there another?
Mayor, I'm
Yes, sir.
just to say a word.
Yeah, come on.
I'm Mike Eves. I'm here on behalf of the developer Springhouse Land. Just a couple of things. The property currently is zoned B3, which is just about the most intensive zoning category you have under your ordinance. The zoning that's requested is actually a reduction in that intensity. This matter came, the city has adopted a process where these things that these things happen. And that process, as set forth both in the statute and in your ordinance, requires that these things go first to the Planning Commission. So this was heard and considered by the Planning Commission, and they unanimously approved it, made this recommendation. Now, that's the process. That's the process that the city has outlined, Again, when this property was zoned in 2015, there was expressed concern about discharging commercial traffic, because this was a commercially zoned property, through these residential areas, not other traffic, specifically commercial traffic. And the developer agreed at that time that they would not do that, believing that they could get access to the bypass. Well, they cannot, or we cannot. Transportation Cabinet has made that clear. So as we sit here today, we've got a piece of property that's zoned B3, have no access to it. So that's the reason this proposal was made. We proposed to build, to have the 4 residential lots up against the residential neighborhood in order to insulate them from the apartment building that was being proposed. In fact, the way we've situated the apartment building, I doubt seriously that most of the neighbors would be able to see it after these 4 lots are built on. But in any event, that's the rationale. That's why the proposal was made. The Planning Commission has unanimously approved it, and that's why we're here.
All right, thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
They showed it, they approved that. None of them ever claimed their brother.
Sir, yeah. If you're going to speak, we need your name, and if you would, so that everyone can hear you, if you'd come to the podium, please.
My name is Walter Connor,
All right, Mr. Connor.
and I use this. That was, he was talking about what the zoning plan done. They just looked at him, and everybody signed it. Nobody knows where Highland View was even at, except Eugene. And before that, we come up here, Eugene said, and him talk, because he's over on my street. He said, we don't need no traffic up here. I said, that's fine. Well, I think he's the person voted no. I don't know why he changed his mind, except I reckon he realized that he lived 300 foot away. And I think that's the reason we tried to get him down and over, and if they could talk and then open that little up. If they built 2 or 3 houses there, wouldn't have 4 or 5 cars getting out. Wouldn't be no traffic jam. He made it sound like everything was right. It wasn't right, because he didn't do it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Connor, yes. Is there another? Please, sir.
Hello, my name is Marshall Holman. He spoke of no one saying anything. If I'm correct, there is another exit that was brought to his attention, which would be down where Burger King is. But he would have to have a bridge, and that was going to be cost in his pocket. So I just wanted to let him know there was another brought to his attention.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Holman. Anyone else? Is there another? Yes, ma'am. That's okay, yeah.
He's already spoke once.
Yeah, you've already spoken, but, and I think we've got the gist of that.
Another entrance to that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, skip.
Sit down.
Thank you. This is the kind, and this is public comments period, yes. But this is, I'll say it again, Mr. Attorney, correct me if I'm incorrect, but this is the kind of information that was to go to planning and zoning. We will make the final determination, yes, but we understand you. We got the gist, and after we've had 4 or 5 persons with the same general thought, we're with you, we hear you. So, thank you, though, thank you. Not being rude, but, yes, ma'am. Excuse me, now, then, for the record, please, if you'll come here, clerk needs to be able, otherwise, Mr. Attorney, you'll learn this from me, I don't conduct meetings like this.
I understand.
If you're going to speak, you must come where all can hear, and must give your name, please.
My name is Shirley Barnes, and I have lived here on Highland View almost 42 years. I don't speak in front of people, as you can tell, but we were not given notice, and they put the sign on the dead-end street, and one of our neighbors found it, and that's how we knew about it.
Excuse me, let me ask a question. We don't usually do this. Knew about what? The
About the
proposal to rezone?
zone change. It was posted at the end of the street. We were not notified of anything. Now, that's how we found out, and that's why
Alrighty.
nobody was here but Walter and a couple the first meeting.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. Mr. City Manager, please.
Just 2 items for you all today. The first is I'll have a January 2026 report out to you all, hopefully by close of business tomorrow. I'll give you an idea of monthly meetings, ongoing projects, and where we're headed for this year. If I don't get it done by close of business tomorrow, you'll have it Monday or Tuesday, depending on my schedule. Second item I have is I just want to really thank our public safety sectors, our police, our fire, Parks Grounds, our road department. Josh and his guys killed it, and the fact that we had all that ice, they're really doing the best they can with it, and they've really worked miracles with the ice we've had. And one department that we always forget about is vehicle maintenance, and they're in here fixing trucks and plows and everything else to keep us on the road, so I want to give them a special shout out as well.
Certainly.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Commissioner Brewer?
I'd asked for information on the animal shelter, that we were going to get a report on that. If you could, they may not want it, but I want to.
Well, I'll provide it to everybody. If somebody asks for something, I'll give it to everybody. So you want, what exactly are you wanting?
When we asked last commission meeting about a detailed report on the animal shelter, their budget, and those things that since we were giving this additional money,
Yeah,
I'd like to see where it's going.
absolutely.
That's all I got, Mayor.
All right, thank you, sir. Commissioner Cole?
Well, I just want to say how thankful I am that the team came together during the ice storm. I'm not too proud to say it's taken me from the ice storm until today to dig my car out. So I understand, I can't even imagine how challenging it is to take care of all the streets in the city of Richmond. And I appreciate the city manager saying it is a team effort. I can't even imagine equipment being torn up and needing to be fixed quickly, and, you know, all the moving parts that have taken place during the ice storm. And it all comes down to people, and we have good people, and I'm so proud of that. So I thank the city for everything that we've done, and phew, I hope this is the last ice storm for a while.
Thank you, Commissioner Cole. Commissioner Newby?
I don't have anything else, sir.
All right, Commissioner Goble?
I'm good. I mean, I was just going to say the same thing everybody else did about thanking everybody for all of their hard work.
All right, I'll let you share it with me then. I do want to see it, but because of what the city manager reminds us is the team, and I've stopped by a couple of places just to say thanks to some folks, but certainly the ones we see most prominently will be Public Works Department and their work on our streets out literally all night long. I did get, I believe it was an email from someone who was a little upset. No, yeah, an email. And it was a transfer of a concern. It was from a friend in Western Kentucky who had a friend here who was concerned, Josh, that they couldn't get out of their driveway. And I couldn't get out of mine. So I did a little chipping. I know this becomes an inconvenience for so many trying to get out of driveways. I know that personally. However, isn't it awesome that our streets are clear? And as I went out and told one of the departments, it's because of what you do that the rest of us can do what we have to do. I know there's that inconvenience, but when stop me, Tammy.
You're good, keep going.
When I was 9 years old, when I was 14 years old, I had a shovel and put it over my shoulder and went up and down the street asking folks, can I shovel your driveway? Okay, that's enough.
Can you shovel mine?
But you get,
Now he sticks it on,
now I can't hold the shovel, so.
now he puts it on TikTok.
But in all seriousness, I understand it's an inconvenience, but I'm so grateful that we've got a department that gets our streets cleared, and they get it done very efficiently and effectively, very timely fashion. Yes, it does throw, as they bring the graders through, it does throw that, and this was ice. I got ice literally off the vehicle that was that thick. So I know. And when I thought I was going to jump up and down the snow, I just went, thud. That ice was that thick on the ground, on top of that snow. So first of all, please be careful. But secondly, bear with us, because the team has done a superb job. All you got to do is listen to the news, and they'll tell you there's some places not too far from here where they cannot get around as well as we can here. Yeah, across one of the rivers, yeah. But seriously, thanks. I'm so grateful to all of our departments. RPD that has to be out there in this stuff. Chief, you all don't have chains on your vehicles, do you? Then, and I mean this, sir, then pray for our police department who's out there in those vehicles that don't have chains on their wheels. I mean, they're coming because we call them. So thank you, Chief, and thank you, Chief. We've got an awesome team. All right, we've been here for a while. We got the best. We got the best. Let's see, out all night, RPD, RFD, I wrote these down. They're digging out of driveways.
Good job.
It's not over yet, is it? It's not over yet. I think we've got.
More coming.
Okay.
Shut your mouth.
So just please be patient with us. And City Hall was closed Monday, and again Tuesday, excuse me, yesterday on delay. Please be patient with us. Doing the very best we can, and appreciate those people who got in here yesterday and did all that we could do to help the citizens of Richmond. But don't hesitate to call if there's a real emergency. Let us know. Let us know. All
10 minutes ago.
y'all should try no. Just kidding.
He's done.
Yes, he's done. All hearts and minds are clear.
Yes.
We will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Commissioner Cole, Commissioner Brewer. Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Yep.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer? Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you all for your patience, and thank you for bringing your concerns seriously. Thank you for bringing them.